Okay, CP Stat students, you're going to be doing an activity today called What is a Statistical Question? So we're looking at the types of questions we investigate in statistics, and you're going to notice that there are two types of questions that you're going to be having to sort through here, statistical and non-statistical. You're not going to be cutting them out, but what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of sort them or identify them as statistical and non-statistical questions today. I'm going to be answering these questions, and I'd say do the questions after you sort them. So if you go down here, you're going to notice a collection of questions, and some of these might have to do with interpretation. But I want you to take some time, read through these questions, and decide whether they are a statistical question or non-statistical, and then give a reason why you think it's a statistical question and why isn't it. And once you're done, we'll go through it. All right, so let's start going through these questions. Which musical artist or group has the most downloads on iTunes? It tells us a little bit dated. I know most people use Apple Music these days. Let's think. Which musical artist or group has the most downloads on iTunes? There's only one answer to this question. Like, let's assume that they're telling you a specific given day and time. You go on there, boom, it's right there. There's only one answer. There's no real need for statistics here. There's only one answer. It's easy to find. So for this one, we're going to go with non-statistical. So I'm just going to label this non. I'll go with red for the non. All right, let's keep going. How many siblings do the students in this class have? Now, it depends on how you interpret this question. Now, if we're just asking, like, as a whole, like if we asked everybody how many siblings there were, and we all said, okay, 1, 2, 4, 5, 0, and then you add up all those numbers, that wouldn't necessarily be a statistical question because you're asking all that, you get one real answer here. However, if you're looking at how many siblings do the students in this class have, if you're looking to like kind of ballpark it, if you want me to be able to randomly select a student and say, okay, how many siblings do they have? In that case, that would be a statistical question because the answer could vary. So I'm going to write down here, if we're talking about all, I would say none. However, if we're talking per individual, we're going to say statistical. I'm going to put stat. All right, who won the 2016 NBA championship? All right, how many answers are there to that question? One. Only one team won that. So we're going to go with none because you don't really have to, ask a lot of individuals. You don't really have to go through much data. The answer's there. Boom, done. How old are your parents? Again, this is the wording of this. You can interpret that a number of ways. Maybe you thought from your perspective, like an individual, like if someone asked you how old your parents were, that's not really a statistical question. There's only one answer to that, right? I mean, yeah, this is how old my parents are. My mom's this age, my dad's this age, whatever. So if we're going to say individual, we'll say none. However, if we're looking at like the average age of somebody's parents in this class, like we want to be able to randomly select a student and kind of ballpark where that age is, I'm going to put as a class, we're going to say stat. How many points did the football team score on Friday? This is where we get a little vague. All right. Technically, you can say it's a statistical question because the way we approach sporting events, they're all kind of random events, and the probability of things happening, there's so many different, chances of things happening. So in general, you probably hear the term sports statistics. That's why. So this one you could really go either way with. There's only one answer as to how many points they scored on Friday. So I'd probably lean towards non. But you're going to get into sports stats a little bit more in this class. And there's a reason why they call them stats and not, parameters. We'll talk about that a little bit. But in general, the reason is because every sporting event has a bunch of different outcomes. Like you could win, you could lose. Like if you're in baseball, you get up to the plate, you could get a hit, you couldn't. You might be able to hit a home run, single, double, triple. There are all sorts of chances of, what could happen there. That's why we tend to refer to them as sports statistics and not parameters. Where are the students in this class going to college next year? Now, this is something that's kind of rich because we're going to get a lot of different answers for this. If you ask individuals, we're going to get so many different answers. So we're going to go with a statistical question here. Because you're going to notice if I ask somebody, my answer from this person might differ from the answer of that person. And the answer from this person might differ from this person. You're going to get a lot of different answers here. Let's keep going. What are the heights of the teachers at this school? So it depends on how you want to approach this problem. Now, if you wanted to do a full-on census, I guess, if you're thinking like you're going to a school that's really big and you can literally ask every teacher, and you're not necessarily looking for like, excuse me. All depends on what you're looking for here. If you're looking for like an average height of a teacher, then I'd say that's probably statistical. However, if you're just looking to make a full-on list of all the heights of teachers and you want to do a census, then that would be, actually, it's going to vary, believe it or not. So you're looking at the heights of teachers at this school, I would say statistical question. Because it's going to vary. You're not going to get the same answer every time. It's not just a real concrete answer. How many hours do seniors work each week? Again, you're looking at answers that are going to vary. One kid might be working more than another kid. So we're going to go with stat. Hopefully you're noticing a pattern here. How old is this school building? Not a lot of different answers to that. There's one solid answer. You're not going to get any variation. So that would be none. How many snow days did we have last year? Only one answer to that question. So that is going to be none again. You're not going to get answers that vary for that. Unless, here's where I'd approach this. If it says, how many snow days did we have last year? If you're talking collectively the state of Massachusetts, then you're going to get different answers from different schools. However, if we're just looking at our school, then that's none. How many students in this class ate breakfast this morning? Let's see. Answer's going to vary. Even though it says, let's see, this morning, right? But you're going to get a different answer each time. I would go with statistical in this case. How long do you wait in line for lunch each day? Again, you're not going to get the same answer from everybody. Statistical. So if you want to review here, this is what we got. And we're going to set our parameters too, because this is important. We're taking a statistics class. You want to know what's a statistical question, what isn't. Now we can describe the criteria we use to sort the questions. Now that's up to you. You sorted them first. So I'd like to know what you did here. What is the main difference between your groups? Tell us what the difference was with your groups. How can we tell a difference between a question that's non-statistical and statistical? All right. So let's see. We're going to approach this. This is how I think is the best way to do it. A statistical question. And I'm going to use some thicker writing here too. Okay. And I would say a statistical question is the answer will vary depending on the group or individual. Like if we're asking the age of this building, you're not going to get a different answer. There's one answer there. If you're asking who won the NBA championship in 2016, there's one answer there. If you're asking the height, guess what? You're going to get some different answers there. And from that, you can pull up some sort of statistic. Like say you want to find, heights of Grafton High School students. You could ask everybody, but you probably don't want to. That would be an example of doing a sample. You randomly sample, and you get some heights, and then you come up with some statistics. Maybe you want to list the average height of a Grafton High School student. Maybe you want to say the most occurring height of a Grafton High School student. That would be the mode. So you could say like, okay, the most common height in Grafton High School is 5'6". Maybe you want to find the median. Right there in the middle, like the 50th percentile, 50% or above this height, 50% or below. What's right in the middle? That's your median. Maybe you want to find a range. That's another statistic. It's summarizing. It's something that tells you about your population. So maybe you find, okay, I found a range in height of, let's say, 58 inches up to 76 inches. Okay, I'm just making up numbers here, but that again is another summary. Anything that summarizes your population, some sort of summary, that would be a statistic. And let's see, what else we cover? We've got mean, median, mode, range. I think we got the big ones here. Now, say you wanted to find, what color eyes someone has. All right, that's something that's going to differ. And you could come up with some sort of statistic. Like the most common occurring eye color is brown. The least common occurring eye color is hazel. These are statistics, because the thing is, your answer is going to vary depending on the individual or depending on the groups you're looking at. And that is the key here for a statistical question. The answer will vary depending on the group or the individual.